Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. Today's video is going to be all about how to navigate a crush or an ex that you are still wanting to be with, or a crush that you want to be with, feeling not being chosen, not being picked, not being given what it is that you want to be given from this person. And this is inspired by the sessions that have had, especially this past weekend, supporting those that are going through breakups, and also trying to get back with an ex that they were hurt by because it just wasn't working. But then the hope and the experience of having an experience with them of what it is that they have always been yearning, and that being swept off their feet again, that hope not being turned into that physical reality of what the hope would feel like. So then back they go to square one of feeling hurt, rejected, angry. How could I have let myself experience this again? How could they do this to me? We're going to talk about how to navigate that, because it is so prominent in our reality that we are going to go through this. And depending also on our core beliefs that we have had acquired as a child, and also our attachment style, the experience of feeling not being chosen, not being picked, abandoned, rejected, will hurt to the degree of the amount of wounding that is from inside of us. Because when we are crying about someone who's not able to be with us, because at the end of the day, that is what is actually happening. It's not that you're being rejected, you're actually being protected. First of all, if you think about it, when you think about yourself and who you choose to it's completely out of our hands. We don't have a choice. We don't say, hey, I really want to like this person, then you like that person. Somehow there's something from within, like some sort of energetic connection that takes place that is completely outside of our control, that bonds to that person, and we want to have this experience with them. And this book, Attached, explains this very well. So we can't take it personally that if someone is not able to reciprocate those same feelings to us, or is not able to hold us in what we hope to experience would be in a connection where we feel respected, where we feel picked, where we feel chosen, we cannot control that. But what we can take out of that is, because that is also happening for a reason, is for us to see, okay, if I'm feeling disrespected, what part of myself is disrespecting myself in this current moment in time? Because it's always 50-50. So it's not fair to say, how could they do this to me? What you want to ask is, how could I do this to myself? Why am I still attaching to someone that allows me to still feel rejected, not picked, not cherished? What part of myself is still holding on to a core belief that will have that person show up for me in that way? What part of myself is feeling, I am needy, I am not good enough, I am bound to be abandoned, I am unlovable, I am unlikable? This is all my core beliefs that I felt throughout my 45 years of exploring the romantic world like this, because I acquired all these when I was a child. So through recapitulation, I am replaying out these patterns in my adult life. And if I were to examine the question of why do I let myself repeat this over and over, I now know that it's natural part of evolving, because if I didn't repeat the same thing over and over, I wouldn't go to the question, why is this happening to me? And then I wouldn't have the chance to rephrase it. Well, why is this happening actually for me? Why am I repeating the same patterns? What part of myself is calling in this experience? Because we are 50-50 responsible for all our interactions. So it's not fair if I say, how could they treat me this way? Because I want to look at, there's no power in that anyways. Where there is power is, why am I allowing myself to be in this space? What part of me do I not respect, or do I not think is worthy enough in order to be receiving something different? And I understand the hope of having that person show up for us different, because it's almost like we revert back to our inner child. And it's like we are hoping that our primary caregiver will finally give us that one of the 4 S's, or all of the 4 S's, safe, seen, secure, and soothed, that we were missing in order to produce a secure attachment style. Because most likely we probably have an insecure attachment style, or an avoidant attachment style, or a disorganized attachment style, which does not allow us to be securely attached to ourselves. So then we need that external validation in order for us to know what we are worthy of, because we were never able to receive that as a child. Gabor Maté talks about this so much in his podcasts or his interviews. And that's why he always says, like, relationships can be a dream, but they can also be your worst nightmare, because they're going to bring all that stuff out of you. Like all of your unworthiness, all of your not good enoughness, all that is going to come out, but it's just coming out to be healed. And if you find yourself going back to that person that has hurt you, and remember that hurt is for you to grow, because if you didn't feel that hurt, you wouldn't have there wouldn't be any reason to examine why this is an experience for you in the first place, and then understand that it's there to heal your core beliefs or your attachment style. It serves a purpose, even though the purpose is really hurtful. But many times we need to feel that hurt in order to detach completely. Because I know the last time that I repeated the same pattern of going back to where I know I'm not being given what I would hope to be given as like from a lover. Like I would want to feel security and to be chosen and to feel cherished, taken care of, like supported. First of all, I know I have to do this for myself first and foremost in order for someone else to give that to me now. But the last time that I repeated this, and I not almost went back to repeat that same cycle, something had to be done in a way that felt really hurtful and felt really big in order for that to be a catalyst for me to really look at what I'm doing in order to remove myself from that experience over and over again. So even the book that I've shared many times, Why Me, Why This, Why Now, why does it feel so hurtful, is maybe because a lot of the times we do need something to be so hurtful enough that we can finally be like, okay, enough is enough. I can't do this anymore, and I don't want to do this anymore, and I don't want to feel this way. Because sometimes that's the only way that we can detach. So that hurt can come in the form of, say, being cheated on, or another form of being disrespected. Like sometimes we do need that something really big to happen in order for us to step back and come out of that subjective place, because we can't look at this, because we are in our emotions and we are in our wounds and our recapitulating cycles of our childhood. We can't see the scenario objectively. We see it subjectively, because we are the subject that is immersed in those emotions, and is in that part of self that is almost like an addict that wants to experience that same feeling of rejection, not being chosen. It's like that wounded part of ourselves somehow thrives off of that and wants to repeat it. But once we are aware of it, we can stop it. And I'm so sorry that sometimes it does have to come in a really hurtful form in order for us to completely detach and cut off from that experience. But just know that's why that's there. It's always happening for you. And then when you're crying after that, the hurt that you're feeling, because that person could be anyone. It could be anyone on this planet that will make you feel that way, because they're touching upon one of these core beliefs that is alive from within you. So when you think about it that way, then it takes away that power from that person. Because I know from experience as well, if we don't change these core beliefs about ourselves, then the next phase that's going to come into our life will also have the same feeling as our ex, unless we do something different. Because the definition of insanity actually is doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. So if we want a different result, we can't do the same thing over and over. We must change like our self-concept. That's what self-concept is. It's your core beliefs. You change who you are predominantly from within. You change your attachment style. You change your core beliefs. You raise your confidence, you understand your self-worth, you do all these things. And then by that definition, because you're doing something different, there will be a different result. I hope that this video was helpful to anyone that is going through a rejection process, or not being picked, not being chosen, that hurt, that will probably turn into anger as well. And just remember, like, that anger, a lot of the times it's projected. Like when we talk about the other person, it's actually a projection of anger and hurt that we feel within ourselves, of like, how could we have let this happen again? And I want you to really be gentle with yourself, because not being gentle, first, it will be of no service. And understanding and having compassion for yourself, knowing that this is completely normal, and we do repeat these cycles until we are strong enough and understand that we are in control, complete control. So even if we're tested by the universe, or if we're still putting out that vibration that is being matched by that same behavior, it's completely in our control to change it. And then we go back in a seat of power again, as opposed to feeling victim, because nothing is actually done to us. We are 50% responsible for any interactions that we have with the world. So that anger to be redirected back to us, allow it to pass, but don't hold on to it, because there is no reason for you to be angry with yourself. These are just these are natural cycles of evolution, and like self-evolution, understanding our patterns, understanding our attachment style. We need to experience this in order to experience different. And it's, I want to completely normalize that experience. So then you don't hold on to that anger for that person or to yourself, because that won't do any service. It actually will keep you in a cycle of lowering your vibration and having more not so good experiences come to you. So feel it to heal it and let it go. And remember that hurt people only hurt people. So if we're still bringing in these experiences, some part of our wounded self is also bringing in that wounded part of themselves. And we have to look at them as their wounded inner child as well, because we often put people on this pedestal thinking that they could finally be different and change and hope for that experience. But we're giving them too much power. We're the ones on that pedestal, not them. Because if you really think about it objectively, they're as wounded as we are. So they have a complete inability to be that for us. So we're looking for it at the wrong place, right? It's almost like I'm looking at my mother that had the inability to like really love me and be present for me because of her own stuff. I'm having this experience still as an adult, and I kept having it until I understood it. And once I understood what was happening, then it's easier to let go of that person and hold them accountable and responsible for them being something for you that they just can't. They can't even be that for themselves, never mind for somebody else. That's why hurt people, because they're still hurt inside. Like if you see them for their inner child, then it's going to take them off of that pedestal and really see how incapable they also are of giving you what it is that we are still starving for, that our own parents were unable to give us. If you have any questions, comments, please, I'd love to hear from you. If you liked anything about this video, give it a thumbs up. If you have any suggestions for a future video, I'd love to hear it. Yes, I love all my interactions. I'm so grateful to have this experience with you all. And yeah, I will see you next time.